Time now to take a look at Som versus Marty, game number 2. That's Sombrero as Space Marines, Marty as Orcs, and it is out of reaches for the map. This is the second game of the series, and Marty has managed to win the first game. I really thought he was going to lose that first game on Battle Marshes, but somehow Sombrero managed to make enough mistakes to put him behind, and Marty capitalized on that. So we're going to have a look at Outer Reaches. Sombrero has picked this map, so he's really, for some reason, he's decided that Outer Reaches is the map for him. It will give him the most advantage against his opponent as an Orc player. First, War Banner going up for Marty, so he's going for that more of an aggressive style build rather than the Generator, which would give him a bit more of a tech advantage later on in terms of getting there quicker. Sombrero sending out quite a lot of scouts to do a bit of capping, as you normally would, and Space Marine squad straight away, not going for the quick commander as some players would often do. Marty there going for the outer point at the top of the map, 12 o'clock position, if you will. And Big Mac coming out already, so he's going to be upper commander, and Sombrero is going to be downer commander for at least a while. And the crucial, well, I call it the crucial central strategic point, but I really don't think it's that crucial in this map. I'm not really sure whether it's wise to take that point so early, because it's so easy for your opponent to stop you from taking it if you go for it first. It's like the quick draw type thing. You see your opponent go for the gun first, you know, well, that's a bad analogy. Anyway, Big Mac has arrived on the scene, and he's just going to be taking chunks out of these Space Marines with his pistol. Really unassailable, this Big Mac, at the early point in the game. Well, it takes a long time for him to be killed. A lot of hit points, and he's going straight for this Servitor because he knows that if he kills it, then Sombrero doesn't really have an opportunity to take that LP up to full health, you know, in terms of building it. In the meantime, Slugger Boy's squad's getting stuck into these scouts over here at the top of the map. So it looks like Marty's already starting out with a bit of an advantage here. He's on the aggressive front here. We've got 2 squads of Space Marines rather than a Space Marine squad and a commander. Really, I think I'd be going for commander personally. That's just my own personal choice. But Sombrero has gone for 2 squads of Space Marines. He's having his Servitor picked away by this pistol, and bam, goes down. Doesn't have the opportunity to complete that point, which is unfortunate. And Marty can easily come back later on and destroy that point. In the meantime, Scout's going after the Gretchen, or the Garots, but they aren't really going to get too far with that. The LP will be up before the listening post, that is, and it'll be defended by the time those scouts are done. So not really seeing that happening there. In the meantime, Generator going down for Marty. He's already into it, getting that support ready. In the meantime, his Big Mac is just really unstoppable at this stage. Sombrero just doesn't have anything that can deal with that Big Mac. Really just laying waste to these Space Marines left and right. Oh, Burner's coming out. Really enjoying that. Burners, and I think that's a good choice by Marty, because as you can see, Sombrero is having to run away at short distance, and the Flamers are great for chasing enemy units through cover and so forth, and that's exactly what's happened. And because, I mean, even though there's 2 squads of expensive Space Marine warriors there, the Big Mac more than makes up for that, because he's just really, there's no match for him in close combat at this early point in the game. Really, I'd love to see a Space Marine commander in there to even out the odds. I mean, once you've got the LP2 up and running, surely you can defend and send the Orcs out of their base and sort of get on with life, but that's not really happening. These Space Marines are having to run around, avoid the combat, because they're just losing so many warriors there. Meantime, a pile of guns going down. It's already a pile of guns. Marty just taking firm control of this game now. So that Big Mac is still only at half health, and for every Space Marine loss, it's a whole lot of requisition that Sombrero has to expend to keep up with this, and that is just delaying his tech, delaying his control of the map. And Marty, at any time, he can teleport out with his Big Mac, so he's in a comfortable position here, despite being shot at constantly by the LP2. He can just teleport out any time that he likes. Now would probably be a good time, to be honest, now that the scouts have arrived in the background, and there's a lot of requisition being invested in those squads in the middle there, the Space Marines, and the Big Mac now low on health. So now would be a good time to sort of quit while he's ahead and jump out, but Marty doesn't agree with me there. He's just going to stick around and keep bashing those Space Marines for as long as he can. Fair enough too, he's just causing so much damage that you may as well. And the Slugger Boys are cheap. Slugger Boys are much cheaper to reinforce than Space Marines. So there you have it. Wow, and even with the LP2 firing away there, just nothing's happening. It just takes too long in Dawn of War 1 to kill things. Not saying that Dawn of War 2 is any better, but as you can see, It's not StarCraft or something. It's just taking too long to kill the units, and we're just hanging around the same fight for ages, man. Plasma Generator going down in the meantime for Sombrero. He's at least having time to macro himself out a little bit, putting some buildings down. That's kind of cool. Glad that we're seeing that. In the meantime, has he kept at the center of the map? He's still got it. He's still got that point. So Marty hasn't sent a squad over there to take that up just yet. Interesting game, although I must say it's been one-sided. Just Sombrero doesn't have the answer for that Big Mac. Big Mac's still only at a third of its health. It's just been standing there in front of a gun for ages, and it's still at a third of its health. Space Marine's continuing to run, and there we're at a slight vantage point. Okay, so then he teleports out. So good play there by Marty. He's really done everything right so far, as opposed to the previous game where we saw him make a few sloppy mistakes. So now we're seeing some decent play, I think, and that's really going to shut Sombrero down. I don't really like Sombrero's build order, to be honest. I think he should have got a commander out earlier. He probably should have used that commander to stave off the Orcs, and in the meantime tech up to tier 2. And Space Marines are quite decent at tier 2, getting some decent special weapons and stuff, plasma guns and revolters and stuff like that. That would have really dealt with those Orcs. And in the meantime, Slugger Boys, no, not Sluggers, Shooter Boys are out now. And these guys are going to cause a world of pain later on. A big shooter already. And once we get a lot of big shooters and a lot of Space Marines tied up in close combat with a Big Mac, that's when the big shooters are really going to shine. Watch this, big shooters just ripping into them. And a bit of a firefight there. Sombrero doesn't really want to commit to that, because he knows that he'll just get engaged by those sluggers up front, and more shooters being upgraded. Marty has a lot of requisition to play around with. He hasn't spent too much in the early part of the game. He's teched up, he's safed up, he's upgraded to LB2s, and bam, squad of scouts dying now as well. Nice work from the sluggers, and they can easily just take that critical objective and loosen the center as well. So Marty's taking control of that. He's going to have more than 50% of the map up and running. So very dominant play here. Burner Boys, Shooter Boys, good combination. His, several plasma generators, power generators, whatever you want to call them, up and running. None of the same kind from Sombrero. Sombrero is only 2/3 of the way to getting to tier 2. He's upgrading his armory now. He's building his armory. Just don't feel like it's going to be enough. He's got a huge number of Space Marines there, but he needs special weapons for them to be effective. Storm Boy's coming into support now, and that's going to mean doom for those Space Marines. He's just going to be constantly running away. In the meantime, another scout squad dying from those sluggers, and in come the Storm Boys in the middle. These Space Marines are going to be forced to retreat, and I just don't know what they're going to be able to do here. Once the armory comes up, sure, he's going to be able to upgrade flamers, or there you go, flamers. He's upgrading flamers right now, but will it really matter? Will it really matter is my question there. And LP2, big deal, you know, shoot at the Big Mac for all you care. It's going to take ages to kill anything. A couple of flamers upgraded, but what use is a flamer when you are retreating rather than chasing? That's really the idea behind this. Moved within range of 2 LP2s. Man, if this isn't the ultimate defense of Space Marines, I don't know what is. 2 LP2s crossfiring here. Doesn't matter. Hey! Assault Marines have joined the combat. Probably a decent choice, but where is that Force Commander? I felt like he really needed it. I mean, he's got to tier 2 now. He could have gone for an upgraded Force Commander, maybe a Librarian or Chaplain. That would have done it. I think that would have defended him fairly well. Maybe I'm wrong. Not as good a player as these guys are, I assume, but looks like Sombrero just getting clobbered here, and we're going to see a 2-0 victory, no doubt, to Marty, moving on to go to the round of 8. And I must say that the round of 16, round of 8, moving on to the round of 4, the semi-finals. My comment was going to be, I must admit the round of 8, which is what we've been observing so far, hasn't been particularly competitive. It's been fairly one-sided, as you expect the first round of a tournament to be, except in the case of upsets. And again, Marty teleporting back, just saving himself, and he's just going to commit again, and there's nothing that Sombrero's going to be able to do about it. But should Marty win the series 2-0, as it looks like he will, he'll be up against Epics, so there'll be Orcs versus Tau. We saw that before with Epics versus Womble, but this time it's different. We've got Marty, who's probably a better player than Womble, so he should be able to put up a decent fight against Epics, and I'm looking forward to see how that works out. On the other side of the bracket, the semi-final, on the other hand, will be Santiago versus Shade, Eldar versus Tau, another interesting matchup. Sorry, not Eldar versus Tau, what am I talking about? Eldar versus Orcs are much more interesting than Eldar versus Tau. Much more interesting matchup, I meant to say. Man, look at this carnage. Space Marine squads being broken left and right, using that recall ability, not recall, that sort of word of Might of the Emperor or something. Just cannot remember what it is. It's where the Sergeant restores the morale of the squad. Assault Marines chasing down some sluggers. or shooters, as the case may be, not really doing anything. These Storm Boys are upgraded now with their jetpacks, just getting into the back. Nice, swift movement, straight into close combat. Look, that's pretty much it. The replay ends in about 2 minutes' time, and I'm just going to cut it short, guys. Marty is the victor here. 2-0 victory to Marty. Sombrero didn't really put up a fight. I would have liked to see some better play from him, unfortunately, but not always the case. You can rely on these players to put out their best. Tournaments are sometimes nerve-wracking occasion, especially when money's involved, as it is in this situation. But look, that's it. 2-0 victory to the Orcs. He'll be up against Epics before long, and I'll show you comprehensive coverage of that. The starting map will be different in the semi-finals, so look out for that as well. But look, hope you're enjoying the series so far. Thanks to Elseware Entertainment for sponsoring this tournament once again. And look, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Vol. It's been another commentary for Dawn of War Soulstorm.